Right, welcome back to another video on the Ruthless Frame channel, and we've got our Premier League 2022-2023 predictions for the season. And on mine, it's non-1, or is it D7? And Mighty Red Cup, we did Illusion. If you want to go and check that channel out, we did do our group, but I didn't. Obviously, no one agrees on where everyone's gonna place. So this is my prediction. So let's get into it. I have written down on notes before I did this video. So in 20th place, I believe Bournemouth. For me, Bournemouth haven't strengthened enough. The team is not because they did a lot of signings in January of last season, but it's not on the level of everyone else's in my personal opinion. So sorry, Bournemouth fans, but for me, you're finishing 20th. 19th, and this might be a bit of a shock one. Some people might be a bit shocked with this, but I'm going to go with Brentford. Second season syndrome. Sheffield had it, they went down. We had it, we managed to stay up. I think Brentford will definitely be in a relegation battle, but will they be able to stay up like Leeds, or will they be relegated like Sheffield United? For me, they get one injury to Ivan Toney, or one injury to Norgard or someone like that. They don't have Ericsson anymore. I know they brought Damsgaard in, what is a good sign. But for me, Brentford, I've just got a feeling 19th. 18th, Fulham. Now, Fulham, to be fair, they've made some good signings, but I swear they do this every window where they'll sign some players. I remember they signed Areola, Tete. I think Tete's still there as well. Seri, but they make these signings, but it just never clicks, never works. And they've done the same again. I mean, they've signed Leno, good signing. Signed Pereira from Man United. Solomon, good young player. I believe that deal went through because I know it was going for quite a bit. That, but for me, it all depends if Mitrovic turns up. Similar with Bournemouth as well with Solanke, because people do forget Solanke did have a really good season last year. But yeah, if Mitrovic turns up, gets 10 odd goals, they'll probably stay up. But for me, Fulham 18th, 17th, Everton. I mean, I think Calvert-Lewin's already injured. It's not a big injury, but Calvert-Lewin did go through loads of injuries last season. Some with my team Leeds United with Bamford, and having your number 9 out, it's just going to affect you. I'm sorry. But Calvert-Lewin is Everton's danger man, especially now with Richarlison gone. Not really replaced Richarlison. I wouldn't say Dwight McNeil. I mean, I don't really rate Richarlison, but I would say Dwight McNeil is nowhere near as good as Richarlison. Dwight McNeil struggles for goals. I think he'll be alright for them. He'll be a steady player. I don't think it'll be I think it'll be enough just to stay up, but I think won't be enough, and I think they'll be in another relegation battle. Just my opinion. 16th. A lot of people have got these higher in the league. For me, I don't think so. I've got a weird feeling. Chiquinho's injured. Jimenez is injured. All they've signed is Nathan Collins. Obviously, Sarr's a very good keeper. But you know who I'm talking about? I'm talking about Wolves. I've just got a feeling Large will be sacked around Christmas time. I'm really not a fan of the style of play. They just sit back. I'm glad he's not my manager because it's really boring football. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see. But for me, I've got a weird feeling that Wolves are not going to do well. 15th. Now I've got a list here. I feel like from 17th all the way up to 10th, it's kind of like very similar quality teams really, and it is quite hard to judge who's going to come where. But 15th, I have gone Southampton. Southampton, I think, are just going to be one of those teams where they'll just always come around this place. Hasenhüttl, not a bad manager. Nothing amazing, but he's a decent manager. They go through spells of where they're really good, and then they go through spells where they're absolutely dreadful. I think that will be the same. Maybe this could be Hasenhüttl's last year, potentially. We'll have to wait and see. But yeah, just a solid 15th for Southampton. I think they'll just miss the relegation on baton points. But yeah, I think they're not a bad team. They made some decent signings. Ward-Prowse does Southampton rely on Ward-Prowse quite a lot. So yeah, Southampton 15th. 14th, we're going to go Nottingham Forest. Made a lot of business. Now this can either go two ways. It can go really well. They've brought a lot of players in, a lot of young players, fresh faces. They'll be excited back in the Premier League. Like Leeds first, obviously not as good with me putting them 14th, but Sheffield and Leeds first season back in the Premier League, and even Brentford to an extent. It's like, yeah, first season back, just exciting football, and I think they'll come at a solid 14th. These next few teams, it's all a bit like mixed because it was really hard for me to put where. On here, I'm going to change it up there. I'm going to put Leeds in 13th now, thinking about it. Because as of right now, I've not bought a left back or another attacking player. And for me to get higher than 13, we need both of them. I've been happy with our business so far. We've got young players in. Unfortunately, Sinistera's got injured. Hopefully, that will not be too bad though. But honestly, I think right now, a lot of Leeds fans would agree with me. 13th is probably a good position to put us in. 12th, I'm going to go Crystal Palace. I rate Palace. I like how they play. When Vieira first came in, I'd read a lot of stuff where he wasn't the greatest manager, so I think I had Palace to go down, but from last season. But yeah, I was totally wrong. Because you got Eze, Elise, Zaha, straight away 3 creative machines, and Eze was out for a lot of last season, but he'll have a full season here. You got, I think Mateta and Edouard will both improve. The defence, Guehi and Mitchell both got into the England setup. 2 very good players. The biggest worry with Palace is that they don't have Gallagher, and we know how big Gallagher was for them last season. So, they brought in Cheikh Doucouré. What, to be fair, good defensive midfielder, tall, solid. So yeah, I'm happy with my 12th place, but I do believe Gallagher will be a big miss. But it all depends how good Doucouré is, I suppose. Or will do for them. Next up, Leicester in 11th. Not signed anyone. Schmeichel's going, or nearly gone. They're going to sign a replacement. Not too sure who that is yet. I've not really been looking at the rumours. Fofana has been linked to it. Maddison most likely could be leaving Newcastle. And, I know Arsenal might be going back to him from what I've seen this morning. So it depends how they replace these players, but they've left it so late in the window that, again, this could be Rodgers' last season, maybe. Maybe not, but they've just not done enough. I don't think there's players in the team as well who are really into it. Tielemans, it's probably his last season, from what reports are saying. It could be Ndidi's last season. Fofana, like I said, he's been linked heavily away. Vardy, who's getting quite old now, will he keep being able to keep the same intensity? We did definitely see more injury player Vardy last year, and a bit of a drop off. That's expected with age. So for me, Leicester come in 11th, 10th. It's between two here. I'm going to say Brighton. I rate Brighton like I do with Palace. I think Potter is a very good manager. Nice football. They just really lacked that finisher. Is Undav going to be that man? Now, I know they've lost Basuma, but I heavily rate Caicedo, who I watched quite a bit of Brighton at the end of last season. And Caicedo did very well. I'm just having a look at their other rivals, because... Right, so they're bringing a lot of young players, to be fair. They brought in Julio Enzio, a striker, for 10.4 million, 18. Simon Andingra, I think that's how you pronounce it, from the Danish league, 20 years old, 7.2 million. Obviously, Undav they brought in January. Oh, they also brought in Casper. They've made a lot of young signings. They're going to be a young team. I think they're going to be exciting. Quite attacking. For me, Brighton 10th, 9th. Hurts me to say it. I don't really have anything against Villa really. I know there's a most recent rivalry. There's been a bit of a recent rivalry with Leeds and Villa since when Codger pretended that he was injured and all that, but we won't get into that. But you got to admit they've got a good team. They spend a lot of money. If they don't do well, I mean, Gerrard's a good young manager, attacking manager. I mean, I rate Gerrard as a manager. I think he's a good manager. He's still got a lot to learn, but he'll definitely learn that in the Premier League with a team like Aston Villa. So yeah, Villa 9th for me, I believe, because I'm just trying to think. Coutinho, obviously great player. Kamara, what I've seen from Aston Villa fans is both Kamara and Diego Costa have both been brilliant in pre-season. Leon Bailey as well. Apparently Bailey's been a different class, so maybe this is going to be Bailey's season. Does sometimes take a year for a player to settle in the Premier League. I'm just trying to think. Ings, Watkins, who will they start at? Maybe both, but probably only one. For me, I prefer Ings personally, but Watkins is probably more, can do more roles faster as well. So look, Villa in 9th, they've improved. They do seem to do this a lot though, where they do spend a lot of money and then don't do maybe as good as what a lot of people expect, but in my opinion, Gerrard is a better manager than Dean Smith. So, Villa 9th. 8th, Newcastle. I like, well, I don't like, but Newcastle's team and what they're doing and the project. I know they're spending money, but they're not spending hundreds and hundreds of millions that they've got. They're doing it in a sense the right way a little bit. If that will last, I don't know. I don't know if they'll start absolutely breaking the bank. But Burn from January, brilliant signing. Getting I don't rate Target, but for Newcastle, he's been brilliant. So straight away, Burn and Target there, two good signings. Nick Pope, brilliant signing, 10 million, top class signing. Obviously Gamarish in January, brilliant. I know some Newcastle fans are a bit frustrated with the business, but if I was a Newcastle fan, I wouldn't worry too much. But I think the thing is with Newcastle, in my opinion, they keep on this level. They don't spend absolute hundreds of millions in each window. They just slowly get better and better, and I was actually quite close to putting them. A lot of people don't think they're anywhere near, but I was quite close to putting them over West Ham. But just because I rate Eddie Howe so highly. Look, we got as a Leeds fan, we brought Martian. But I think I'd have been happy with Howe if he didn't already have gone to Newcastle. Oh, Sven Botman as well, of course. Can't lie, I've not seen much of him, but I've heard good things about him. 33 million is a good big price, but we'll have to wait and see. But for me, Newcastle 8th. West Ham 7th. I think that's quite obvious. To be fair, they could push on, but I'll go 7th. I think Skamaka. We'll have to wait and see if that'll be a good signing. It's quite hard to remember all the arrivals. Flynn Downs, I remember them getting. What's a decent signing? Aguerd, not too sure about that one. 31 million. We'll have to wait and see. Obviously, Ariel on a permanent as well, yeah. West Ham, I think they'll be very similar to last season. I think they might drop off a little bit, but still 7th. I think they might, in the Conference League. I think they might win the Conference League or get very close to the final. But yep, 6th. This is big 6. This is going to get interesting now. Manchester United. Man U fans, if you are watching this, you might shoot me for this, but this is just my opinion. Without Ronaldo, he might have been pushing to 5th. I'm sorry. He just, not because Ronaldo's a bad player. Obviously, Ronaldo's second best player in the world, in my opinion. Oh well, not right now, in this current time, but of all time, or especially in my lifetime. Messi's obviously the best. If you don't think that, you're obviously need to go to football school. But look, I mean, I just feel, obviously, I'm based on a lot of pre-season because against Liverpool, you looked good. Liverpool went at the best that game, but that 4-0 win, I only watched a little bit of the game, but watched the highlights, and without Ronaldo, you were quick on the break, everyone was working. But that's just not Ronaldo's style. Ronaldo doesn't go press. Ronaldo's in the box. He'll come deep for the ball to try and dribble past 4 players or whatever, but Ten Hag, he wants them to play as a team. For me, that's not Ronaldo at all. So I think that's why Man U will not get in the Champions League. Sorry, Man U fans. And with your signings, I don't watch the Dutch league. But I think from what I've read, Lisandro Martinez is a good defender. Bit small, but can have small defenders, I suppose. And Malacia, I mean, him and Shaw, I'm not too sure he'll be starting. But yeah, we'll just have to wait and see. 5th, Chelsea. Sorry, Chelsea fans. I don't really see a transfer plan here with Chelsea. They seem to be signing players to make the fans happy. Chukwuemeka they got yesterday, young lad, but Sterling will be decent for you. He'll be good. He'll be better than probably what you've got. Koulibaly again will be good, but will he be as good as Rudiger? No, but it'll be solid for you. Cucurella, he seems to be going for 50 million, way too much money for Cucurella. But look, that's the club's money, so. But for me, I think these other 4 teams are better than Chelsea. Just in my opinion. 4th place, Arsenal. Arsenal finally get back into the Champions League. And I've been very impressed with Arsenal's transfers. Gabriel Jesus, a very good signing. Very good. Zinchenko, very good. I was surprised Man City let Zinchenko go, but for me that's a good signing. Who else did you get? Who else did you get? You got that American goalkeeper, but obviously he's back up. Arsenal It's because that may transfer happen. It's just sometimes hard to remember. Oh, Fabio Vieira. I mean, I don't think he'll settle in straight away, but you got many players that can play in that position. You got Saliba coming back from loan. Is Guendouzi? Oh no, Guendouzi's gone. Okay. Look, it's a good team. For me, Arsenal 4th and Tottenham 3rd. Tottenham, Conte. It's Conte. I think Conte, for me, is the 3rd best manager in the league. I'm just trying to 3rd best manager in the league in my opinion. And look, he's changed Tottenham around here. He got them in Champions League last year. Very good achievement from when he first came in, when they were under Nuno, where they were awful. He's got Kane and Son firing. Richarlison I don't rate. Yeah. Basuma I do rate. Basuma will be a very good signing. He'll bring that midfield to the next level. Not world class, but better than Bentancur actually did well last season. They've got Kulusevski as well. I don't know. They've got a good squad, Tottenham. But look, this video's gone on for long enough, so let's just choose the top 2. Now, I don't want to spoil it in the Illusion video. 2 Liverpool fans there. But like we all said, it's gonna be it could come down to last game of the season again. Now, I've really done some research, looked at the squads in depth. Haaland injury prone. I think Haaland will come good. I know he had a bit of a shocker on Community Shield, but Charge Shield, whatever it's called. He will come good. Nunez will be good as well. They're both getting around the 20 goal mark for me. Yeah, I mean, Jake Red Cup gave a good point where Man City and Dortmund and Salzburg all play a different way. Both Dortmund and Salzburg played where they were playing hand through. There's through balls through the middle of the pitch. A lot more crosses. Where Pep likes to play his tiki-taka, where they just pass the ball around. And you could see Haaland was getting frustrated. I think whoever doesn't win the league here is winning the Champions League. That's the thing. I think these two are... I know Real Madrid won it last year. And look, Real Madrid are probably the 3rd... I know they won the Champions League, but probably the 3rd best team in the world with Man City and Liverpool right now on players and how they play and stuff. Those 3 are probably the best 3. But I don't know. I just look at the squads of these 2. If they keep injury free, both of these teams, the 2 amazing teams. One's going to win the Prem, one's going to win the Champions League, in my opinion. Who's going to win what? Liverpool better in the Champions League? I mean, one could win both, to be fair. That's how good the teams are, but I don't know, it's unlikely. See, the other day I was with Man City going to win the league. But for me, this is Man City's year to win the Champions League. I think they'll be a lot better. It's just that Man City's home stadium, the Etihad's, it's not like, obviously nothing like Anfield, where at Champions League nights, that's massive of what your fans and your stadium and the atmosphere is like. But to win the Premier League, I'm going Liverpool. Man City to win the Champions League, but that's all about Premier League. I'm sure we'll do the Champions League when we get there, and I might change my mind by that point. But like I said, I thought Man City, but I thought it was going to be very close. But now really looking into it, Liverpool didn't just missed out on the Premier League and the Champions League last year. But I think they'll come back stronger, if I'm being honest. But yeah, that is my Premier League prediction. So, put in the comments if you agree, disagree, what your thoughts are. This is just my opinion. But yeah, This video's been on for 25 minutes. But yeah, thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.